Hi, welcome back. So the whole start of my content creation career was the Destruction Only account. Another big part of my channel is also rating character archetypes, from DPSs to supports to just all 4 stars. I've rated them all, and seeing that I'm the CEO of Destruction Only, it's only fitting that I rate Destruction characters next. This is a field I have a lot of experience in. You're in safe hands, I'm a professional. Before we get started, you should like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and join the Express Rain Discord server for a community filled with content like this, and let's get on to it. I should mention that there's already another CC rating all character paths in the game called I Was Bag, and by the time this is out they may have already done this, but this video does not come from inspiration from this CC. They're still doing some fantastic videos though, so if you want more stuff like this, go check them out. I'm rating all Destruction characters for myself, mainly. I also literally have all Destruction characters in the game, so this time all the gameplay clips are from me. I'm also going to give these characters 2 ratings, one based on a normal player's account and another based on their performance in Destruction Only. 4 stars are at E6 and 5 stars are at E0. Now I think we should start with the OG OP Destruction character, Blade. Now for Destruction Only, he's probably the savior of this account, but in the current meta he kinda sucks. His damage is so low compared to the current standard, it's kinda hilarious how he was even considered S tier when he first came out. Oh, how the times have changed. You can probably still clear MOC 12 with him with a good enough team, as it goes for all characters, but with any other meta character you do it a whole lot easier and with a lot less investment. He does have a lot of survivability since he scales off of HP, and despite using HP when he attacks, he can heal with both his FUA and burst when he's below 50% HP. He's got a very well put together kit, despite having some split scaling with ATK, but the whole problem is how low his scaling numbers are. If he was able to do his follow-up attack a lot more frequently, he would be pretty damn good, but he can't, so he's not. In the normal meta, I would give him somewhere around 6 out of 10, and Destruction Only, he's totally a 10 out of 10 because of the survivability and the insane activation he has with Jinglu and Yunli. You're gonna see a trend there, by the way. Next up, let's rate Jinglu. Now, she is definitely one of the best characters in the game, despite some people really wanting that to be false. She does an insane amount of damage with the right team, and unless your artifacts suck, her damage can still be pretty comparable to Acheron. She does have a 2-turn downtime where she has to activate her skill, but then if you manage your burst correctly, which becomes a lot easier with Tingyun and Huohuo, you get 3 or 4 turns of uptime, which you can probably clear a whole MOC 12 wave with. She also gets some free stats, which are 50% crit rate and around 2000 attack from her kit. She gets that 2000 attack from draining a small amount of HP from her teammates, which honestly doesn't matter, especially if you have a good healer. This HP draining is also really good with Blade, as we said earlier, and allows him to do his FUA a lot more, but that's just for Destruction Only, not the real meta, honestly. I'd give Jinglu a 9 out of 10 in the current meta. She still does less damage than Acheron and Firefly, even though it's pretty comparable. In Destruction Only, I'd give her a 9 out of 10 as well. She doesn't have insane survivability, but giving Blade that activation is pretty damn OP. Next up, let's rate Dill. I consider both these two to be pretty damn equal in the current meta, but only if you reserve Sparkle for Dill. Again, a lot of people give Dill for having low damage, even I did at some point, but after testing him out through the support function on my main account, that's obviously not the case. And if you think 411k damage is low, then you're pretty delusional. That's not even with Sparkle, who allows you to do that 411k almost every turn. Still, he does require 3 skill points per turn, which is kind of absurd, even if his burst gives him 2 free skill points that only he can use. Now in the current meta, I would give him an 8 out of 10, well lower than Jinglu because he's a lot harder to play and really requires a specific team, which is Sparkle, Tingyun, and Huohuo for the best results. Of course, Robin and Ruan Mei could do well instead of Tingyun as well, but giving him as much energy as possible should definitely be your goal, and also allows you to reserve these characters for another 5-star character. In Destruction Only though, I'd give him a 5 out of 10. When he has 3 skill points, he does some pretty damn good damage, but he barely ever has 3 skill points in a team literally made out of 3 other supposed to be main DPS characters. E2 Dill is a 10 out of 10 though, maybe, I don't know, I don't have him yet. Next up, let's go with Firefly. Let's get all the 5 stars out of the way first. So when I got Firefly on this account, I totally expected her to just completely suck balls because I don't have Harmony MC or Ruan Mei, but I totally got proven wrong. While her damage without these two is pathetic compared to the current meta, it's one of the best outputs on this account. So Firefly is obviously the queen of Super Break. She does a huge amount of damage, and while some people are really mad that she requires a very specific team, I think the direction this game is headed in is going to include other characters in the Super Break meta, making the team a lot more diverse and have more uses. But that's just speculation, we'll have to see. She's most definitely the best character for Apocalyptic Shadow, with Boot Hill possibly a side grade, maybe a slight downgrade because she's just single target. The greatest thing about Firefly is that she doesn't give a about weaknesses, making her so much stronger than she already is. She applies fire weakness on the main target and then just reduces the toughness of adjacent targets, even if they don't have fire weakness. Absolutely insane. She also increases her own toughness break efficiency by 50%, which is, again, insane. Now, the last really cool thing about Firefly is that she heals herself. Absolutely wonderful. I'd give her, quite obviously, 10 out of 10 in the meta. She can easily beat every endgame mode. She's also insane in the Sim Uni with how many super break blessings there are. In Destruction only, I'd also give her a 10 out of 10. Being able to break weaknesses this efficiently deactivates enemy super moves, which gives more survivability, and then on top of that she heals herself, which is even more survivability. Absolute cinema. Oh, and she's also the character that allowed me to beat the Sunday boss, which I wasn't able to do before. Yunli's up next. This child really surprised me with how actually insane her kit is. I thought she'd be a lot worse, but I just recently beat MOC 10 because of her being in my team. We're getting closer and closer to clearing MOC 12. Anyway, Yunli is the newest DPS character. She's definitely not Apex character level, but she is definitely meta level. She is of course a counterattacker just like Clara. I do believe she does like double the damage of E6 Clara, which is pretty insane. She's harder than other characters to play since you need to time her burst right before an enemy attacks. This is of course pretty simple, but auto battle is very stupid with it, and most players would rather just click burst whenever they get enough energy. To counter the fact she's a counter attacker, which really gives her a huge edge over Clara, you know, other than her sword, is that she heals with her skill. This is very good in the normal meta, but game changing in Destruction only. I do think you still need to bring a healer, so it doesn't change much. It's just a little extra survivability. So, as a conclusion, Yunli's pretty good. I wouldn't pull her over Firefly or Acheron though, possibly not even over Jinglu. Instead of waiting to have a burst up to do 400k damage right before an enemy turn, I'll just do a 400k every turn. I'll give her an 8 out of 10 in the normal meta, 10 out of 10 in Destruction only. Not only does she heal herself, but she can redirect AoE attacks towards her and any character next to her, who of course should be Blade, meaning he does his FUE more and heals more. To start off the 4 stars, let's kick it off strong with Shui. I've said this many times before, her kit is very fun to play. It's very satisfying to play, and for a 4 star she does a pretty damn good amount of damage. She has some applications in super break teams, but she's definitely not much better than Firefly. I'd say she's comparable to Hunmarch 7 super break. Outside of super break though, she's still a decent DPS, but definitely not meta. Her ability to reduce weaknesses no matter what they are is also very nice, and just adds to how good she is. I'd give her a 7 out of 10 in the current meta, yes, higher than Blade because of Super Break and Apocalyptic Shadow. I believe she has more uses than him. I'll give her 8 out of 10 in Destruction only. She does have a small heal when she does her FUA, but it's totally not enough. She also doesn't really increase the performance of any of the other characters that much, she just does her own damage. However, I use the Kalpani Lantern planar set with her when using her with Firefly, which gives her a lot more break effect than any other set in this circumstance. I'm not really looking forward for these two. I'll just lump them in together since they're both completely useless and get them out of the way. 0 out of 10. Both meta and Destruction only. They suck. However, we may be getting a new Destruction MC, which sounds really exciting. Hook is a DPS character, just like I said in my 4-star rating list, which you should watch. She does damage, but totally not enough. I wouldn't use her over any other 4-star DPS, especially Shui or March 7th. In the normal meta, you shouldn't really focus on investing in her. 4 out of 10. She could be good early game, I guess. In Destruction only, I'd give her the same rating. She was useful earlier, but after I got better characters, I stopped using her. Misha, as I said in my 4-star rating list, which you should definitely watch again, has a little miserable mess of a kit. The little guy tries to do damage but can't. Instead, he has 16% def reduction with his E2, and he can freeze. Not that useful in the current meta, so around 5 out of 10. And Destruction only though, he's absolutely insane. He's the only source of def reduction I have so far, and also he freezes, which increases survivability. I'll actually give this goofy little insane goober a 9 out of 10. That's it. I've got some big stuff planned for Destruction only, and of course we'll be pulling for all future characters. There are some exciting looking characters that will be coming out, so it all looks bright for this account. So, thank you for watching. Like, comments, and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and join the Express Join Discord server for a community filled with content like this, and I'll see you next time.